saves by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
The McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Tottenham beat West Ham 4-1, and then Brighton was able to top Newcastle 1-0. On Sunday, Man City beat Wolves 2-1 to stay undefeated, although they do have 2 draws for a record of 6-2-0, and then Liverpool beat Chelsea 2-1 to stay atop the EPL standings. You can catch all these matches and more at McKinney's Irish Pub, your headquarters in Lincoln for English Premier League soccer at 8th and P.
Urology Partners of Nebraska is Lincoln's newest full-service urology group. Urology Partners uses state-of-the-art treatment options for both men and women, including some exciting treatments new to our community that help you get back to your confident and active lifestyle. The team at Urology Partners is dedicated to quickly and effectively restoring your health, with new patients typically seen in clinic within 48 hours. Whether you have questions about your prostate, incontinence issues, kidney stones, or erectile dysfunction, their team has you covered. Call Urology Partners today to schedule an appointment.
Is your phone system holding you back? We know how important smooth, reliable communication is for your success. Whether your team is working from the office or on the go, you need a phone system that keeps up with your busy day. At Hamilton, we offer business phone systems that adapt to your needs, making every call clear and every connection simple. Upgrade to a Hamilton business phone system where advanced features meet unmatched reliability. Are you ready to transform how you communicate? Better phones, better business. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
This October, the Bonsall Spooktacular 10 event is back with spooktacular savings all month long. Stop by anytime in October to discover incredible deals, including hot tubs as low as $5,995. That's up to 20% off MSRP. Plus, enjoy 10% off infrared and traditional saunas. Don't miss out on these hauntingly good offers. Visit Bonsall Pool and Spa today. Bonsall Pool and Spa, every day made better at 33rd and Pioneers.
Be sure to check out the top-selling Recomp. Recomp helps build lean muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Recomp is ideal for men and women of all ages trying to look their best. Recomp can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Urology Partners of Nebraska is Lincoln's newest full-service urology group. Urology Partners uses state-of-the-art treatment options for both men and women, including some exciting treatments new to our community that help you get back to your confident and active lifestyle. The team at Urology Partners is dedicated to quickly and effectively restoring your health, with new patients typically seen in clinic within 48 hours. Whether you have questions about your prostate, incontinence issues, kidney stones, or erectile dysfunction, their team has you covered. Call Urology Partners today to schedule an appointment.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies with light west winds and matching high around 80. Tonight, a chance of sprinkles late, otherwise probably cloudy with a low around 48. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers in the morning, otherwise partly sunny with a high around 67. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Every home is different. Every family is different. So when it comes to a new heating and cooling system, why not get what fits you best? Get the perfect fit with Bryant. Maybe you need higher efficiency, better humidity control, increased warranty, or all the bells and whistles. Bryant provides options. Options in warranty, brand, comfort, and efficiency while maximizing savings. Call 467-1111 or visit BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome, everybody, into the Adam Carriker Show. I'm having my daily fight with the mic. Unfortunately, I think the mic is winning today, but I'll outlast him in the end. All right, the Adam Carriker Show, the show that gives you unique insights, unbridled honesty, and today, producer Rico and I are going to have a whole lot of fun. All right, lots to talk about today. I want to talk about, at one point, right off the top to start the show, how Husker fans should feel, because it's been interesting. And Rico and I were actually talking about this before the show started. Before the season, the schedule's not that hard. We're a lot better. We got a top 5-star quarterback. We're going to be 7-0. You didn't hear that from everybody, but you heard it from a lot of folks. And Joel Klatt does a phenomenal job. But I remember watching his preseason prediction show for Nebraska. He's like, chalk, talking about this is a win. Rutgers is a win. Indiana's a win. Chalk. And I remember thinking, no, that's not how football works. You have no idea what's going to happen. Every Saturday, I said it before and I'll say it again, that ball gets kicked off, all hell breaks loose, that thing is funny shaped and it bounces all over the place. You never know where it's going to go. And there isn't a college football team, there isn't a sports team on planet Earth, because they're all made up of human beings, that is at 100% each and every time they play a game. Your 90% might be good enough to beat this team's 100%. Your 100% might be what it takes to beat another team's 100%. You show up one day because you're off, whatever is going on, you're at 80%. And this team plays in 105 or 10%. And I know, how can you play over your head? Some people exceed their potential. Don't know how to always explain it. And bam, that's how you get clipped. That's how Vandy beats Bama. That's how Georgia looks so freaking awful in the first half against Bama. Actually comes out and takes the lead in the second half, ultimately loses the game, but waltzes right in to Austin, Texas, the team who looked like the best team in the country, and beats them by 2 scores and really dominates them in their house, honestly. Texas had 38 yards. 38 yards of total offense in the first half. That is a college football playoff championship contending team, an SEC championship caliber type team. You never know what's going to happen on any given day. A lot of people were like 7-0. I said if we're 5-2, okay, we'd be okay after the first 7 games. I personally predicted 6-1. I said, my good Lord, we better not be worse than 5-2. We got serious problems. Now there's a lot of people looking at the rest of the schedule being like, oh my God, we're going to go 0-5. How are we going to win a game? It is amazing how quickly the script can flip. Why? Because now we've seen some football. And the last football we saw was not phenomenal. So for me, it's kind of interesting. Like, how should Husker fans feel? First of all, there is no one under God's hot sun who can tell you how to feel. The only precursor I put out there is my 2 things. Number one, what I personally do. I'm passionate. I'm loud. I talk fast, and I'm unapologetic. Some guy yesterday sent me a message, or messaged on the YouTube show. Adam Carriker's annoying. He thinks he's in the WWE. I'm just me, bro. By the way, Tony Robbins does a phenomenal job. I think I watched one of his speeches for about 2 minutes one time, and I was like, this dude's really good. You know what I immediately did? I went over and I watched The Rock. I watched Stone Cold. I watched John Cena. I've seen John Cena a million times walk into a ring, getting booed out of the arena. He's so good with the mic in his hand, in his stupid multicolored jerseys, multicolored shirts that he would wear looking like a bowl full of Fruit Loops. And The Rock was right when he said that, and he'd have the fans eating out of the palm of his hand and cheering him. You can disrespect pro wrestling if you'd like. Don't call it fake. It's predetermined. But what they do with the mic in their hand, a business that everyone knows the outcome is decided by the guy in the back, turn that guy in the back who's no longer in charge, but for years he was, into a multi-time billionaire. What they do is incredibly impressive. And I find that incredibly unique and entertaining. Don't underestimate it. So yeah, that's what I'm drawn to. So that's how I talk, and I'm unapologetic about it. And here's the other thing. When you say like wannabe WWE guy, I get all sorts of comments. This one made me chuckle. I've actually been offered by the WWE. I don't know if people know that. I've mentioned it every once in a while, very sporadically. 2014, they were going to do the Tough Enough, the season where they had Mandy Rose and whoever else, I forget. I was invited to be a part of that Tough Enough. I had not retired yet from the NFL. And I said, thank you, but no thank you, Anthony. The guy's name was Anthony that called me. I said, I'm still not done with the NFL. I actually was. I just didn't know it yet, but that's okay. They called me back 2 days later and said, all right, You're not going to do tough enough. We'd like to do a Zoom call with you. So I did like a Zoom interview. There aren't many guys who can get Vince McMahon to fall out of his chair. They said, cut a promo on him. I did. He fell out of his chair laughing. You can't offend that guy. Okay. And think of him what you want as a person. But after the Zoom call was over, Anthony called me. He goes, we'd like to offer you to come down to work at NXT in Orlando, which is where they work on the young guys and gals and try to develop them so they can go up to Raw, SmackDown, to the main roster. He said, you can talk and you're as advertised. Those were his words, not mine. Okay. If you like how I do my thing, great. If you don't, no problem. But calling me a wannabe WWE guy, no, I've actually been offered. That is who I watch, and I'm unapologetic in how I approach things. Respectful, passionate, unapologetic, but respectful. So if that's not your style, hey, it's all good, no problem. So how should Husker I just wanted to address that because I don't know if I've shared that story on the ticket. I know I've shared it other places sporadically. And actually, my wife told me to go. She's like, you need to go to Orlando. She's like, you need to go. I've listened to enough of Stone Cold's podcast when he used to have it. I know Bill Goldberg pretty well. I've met Cena, don't know him. I've met Hogan, don't know him. But I've chatted with these guys. I've had the opportunity to go backstage. Mike Mizanin, The Miz, is a huge football fan. All right. But I've listened to Stone Cold enough on his podcast he used to have, the Broken Skull Sessions, and he talked about having 3 divorces and why that was, and being on the road 300-plus days a year. And the first time he ever saw his daughter do anything, she was 15 years old. And when my wife said, you need to go to Orlando, you need to go do this. You've watched this since you were a kid. I love the support, but I'm like, you don't know what you're saying yes to. I don't know what I'm saying, what I'd be saying yes to, but I know enough to know that there'd be stress on the marriage. And we had 3 kids at the time, and those 3 little ones over there, I wouldn't see them grow up. So long story short, I said thanks, but no thanks. Tried to get back in the NFL, fell flat on my face there, and I'm okay with that because life turned out all right. I got 6 phenomenal kids, a beautiful wife, and here I am sitting with Rico. Are you awake? You don't sleep like Jake does, do you?
I'm waiting for you to. You're doing your thing.
Take a breath.
Letting you do.
Want me to take a breath? Okay.
I mean, yeah. Take a breath, drink some water, do something.
Dude, I drink water. You know that.
Oh, I know.
Jake does a phenomenal job. It's easy to take shots when he's not here. I want him to fire back more when he is here. Such a nice guy.
He's too laid back.
He is. I like Jake though.
I'll shoot back.
I like that. I got some comments.
What?
All right, I'm just gonna. I'm not gonna do it.
No, say it.
I'd say it, but
you can't start it and not
everything
say
I would say would just go right over your head.
No, it won't.
Did that go right over your head?
Okay. Yep, took me a second. I got
That's
that
why
one.
I didn't want to say it, Rico.
I got that one.
Dude, I love you, man. All
it's
right.
fine.
Hey,
I'm
like
5'5". It's good.
You used to be my producer back in the day. Obviously, a lot of things flipped when
and
the
then you
season
showed
started.
up, and I was like, I don't want to work with this guy.
You actually said that to me in the spring. You said, I don't want to be in the same room as you.
Exactly.
Say that to me again. We'll meet by the flagpole.
You're
I'm not
too
joking.
big.
I'm not joking.
You're too big. I can't do it.
And then when he met my parents, he goes, this guy sure knows how to talk a lot. Not, hey, he's good. Hey, it's nice to meet you. No, this guy sure knows how to talk a lot.
Yeah, I shook your dad's hand.
That's Rico.
I said, great to meet you.
That's Rico, ladies and gentlemen.
Your son doesn't stop talking.
Whose show do you produce now?
I produce everybody's show.
Uh-huh.
I'm just the producer in the back.
You know the guests choose the people who produce their show, right?
Yeah.
Just FYI.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here today.
It's okay. I could kick everybody out. I could be the producer for all the shows if I wanted, but I don't want to.
Well, the station wants to make money, though.
Oh, they'll make money.
Dude, I'm so glad we got to do this today. I missed having some time with you, Rico. But how should the fans feel?
You said that nobody can tell the people how to feel. Nobody can tell the fans how to feel. I can tell them how to feel. Chill out. Relax. It's not the end of the world. It sucked. It was embarrassing, very bad, a terrible showing, a terrible performance from the Nebraska football team, but it is not the end of the season. You're halfway through. You have 5 games left, and you still have a chance to do something you haven't done in 7 years, and that's make a bowl game. It's scary to have that type of performance against a team that many people, although they were a top 20 ranked team going in, many people thought, oh, they haven't played anybody. They're not that good. Nebraska, they haven't seen a defense like Nebraska's, all of these things. And then for Nebraska to lay a complete egg, extremely embarrassing. But Indiana might actually be a really good team. They are potentially going to make the college football playoff. That's a team that you have to look out for towards the end of the season. So
Nebraska, although, scary and things don't look right, I told you before, the flip from Nebraska fans needs to be studied, because 2 weeks ago it was, Nebraska, although they have the loss to Illinois, they still have a chance to be bowl eligible if they beat Indiana. And then, who knows what'll happen at Ohio State. And then you'll destroy USC, and then you'll destroy UCLA. You could beat USC. They don't look that good. And then Iowa, Wisconsin look terrible, to after you lose 56-7. Oh my gosh, they're not going to win another game this season.
Well, so that's what I was talking about earlier. It's an interesting flip. The 7-0 and all that before the season, I thought was kind of crazy. I thought it was more likely we'd be 5-2 than 7-0. Again, I went with 6-1. My prediction all year has been 8-4. I've tried to revise that many times.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not going to do it now. We're so late into the season. Revising it now is too late. My cutoff point was kind of the bye week. After 6 games, you're not allowed to revise after that. And I've stuck with it the whole time. So now I am stuck with it, and I'm fine with that. For me, I'm not going to tell the fans to chill out, because if you're chill after that, it's either one of two things. Either you just don't care that much, or you have a deep understanding beyond what any of us can really realistically comprehend. Because here's what happens. After the game, people are fired up. By Sunday, you're still fired up. By Monday, you haven't had a chance to vent because you see everyone you work with, so you're still fired up. By Tuesday, you kind of look around and the sun's a little brighter and the grass is a little greener. And then by Wednesday, you kind of, okay, I'm going to start looking ahead. And then usually by Thursday, the opponent is Ohio State this week. It depends on the opponent, who you're playing.
Yeah.
Your perspective starts to change and tweak a little bit. And usually it's a little bit more positive. And you want to be positive because you don't want to think you're going to get killed the next game. And that's the natural progression of things. I think Husker fans have a right to be mad. I think they have a right to be understanding. I think they have a right to be sad. As long as you're not like doing something stupid, like inciting violence or something like that, I think within reason, Husker fans have a right to feel the way that they want. The only thing that I do is I'm passionate, but I try to be respectful in the process.
Yeah.
So I always keep that R word in there, respect. As long as you keep respect in there, I think that helps keep perspective in there as well. So I'm personally never going to tell Husker fans how to feel. And I know some people think, oh man, there's too much. It's a fishbowl. It is a fishbowl. I don't think it's too much. I think it's what makes it rare, unique, and special. And I got one final thought, then finish yours. I forgot to put a button on what I was saying yesterday. I brought up, how I don't talk about firings lightly. And I have had buddies who've been fired, AKA cut. And I was traded in the middle of a day, from St. Louis to DC, and I had no idea it was coming. Our whole life was upheaval. Well, that's part of the business. No complaints. But that's why I don't bring it up lightly. Okay, and to put a button on what I was saying yesterday, I don't think anything's going to happen, okay, as far as coordinators and things of that nature. Certainly not before the next bye week. I wouldn't think so. You never know. Probably not till the end of the season. And I'm fine with that. But there needs to be a deeper evaluation process than there's been since the day Matt Rule got here, because the honeymoon is over. We're done with the honeymoon, and now it's evaluation and what's best for the future and whatever that looks like. Go ahead.
That respect part, that's the part that I'm talking about when I'm saying to chill out. I'm not saying to, tamper your feelings or to sit back and say, oh, everything is fine. Not everything is fine. But calling for people's jobs, calling for, these kids, these are kids. I know that there are some guys who are 28 years old still playing college football, but these are kids still. Telling these kids that they don't have the heart to play football, or they don't know what it takes to do this or to do that, from people who haven't played a down of football in their life. And I played high school football. That's it. I went and I ran track in college, but I didn't play football.
What'd you run? Out of curiosity. Sorry.
Hurdles.
All right, go ahead.
Hurdles, long jump, sprints, I did all that.
Good to know.
But to say that these kids don't have heart, to say that these coaches need to be fired, that's the part where that respect part comes in. It's, yes, they need to take a long look in the mirror. Mm-hmm. They need to, your offensive coordinator, your special teams coordinator, your offensive line coach, your running backs coach, wide receivers coach, your linebacker, all of your coaches, your head coach need to take a look in the mirror and look at themselves and say, okay, are we doing what the best thing for these guys, for these athletes, to get them ready for these games? Because for Matt Rule to sit up there after the game and say, oh, I didn't see this coming, and oh, the team, what I was proud of is that they were still fighting at the end. You lost 56-7. Look, you can say they were still fighting, and yeah, some of them were probably, you were getting the backups in and they were trying to make a name for themselves, but it didn't look pretty. It didn't look great.
and to just be like, hey, man, we didn't expect this. You saw what Indiana was doing to, again, not a lot of competition. They're putting up buku points on all these guys.
Mm-hmm.
You knew they weren't going to let up, and it still happened to you. Not to say that you go in there thinking, okay, Indiana's going to blitz us, right? They're going to come out and they're going to put up 56 on us, right? But you have to go in there, kind of looking at that like, okay, if we get down, they're not going to let up. So we need to continue to fight. We need to continue to do these things. So, but calling for people's jobs and all of that, I understand the fanatic part of it, and being so invested in the team that you obviously want them to do, go undefeated and be the best team in the land. But at the same time, look, it's not the end of the world. You may feel like it that Saturday. Look, I stopped watching in the third quarter. It was tough to watch. I went back and finished watching it, but it's tough to watch. But it's not the end of the world. You have your Ohio State, which is probably not going to be pretty. But then you have UCLA, USC, Wisconsin, Iowa. None of them are world beaters. None of them are, although, we looked at the same at Indiana and said that, none of these guys are undefeated, playing lights out. Wisconsin is playing better than they were earlier in the season after their quarterback went down. But those are all still, to me, coin flip games. Those are all games that Nebraska can still get.
They're all 4 winnable. They're all 4 losable.
Exactly.
I think when it comes to reacting to the Indiana game, if people are overly respectful, that's when you can have apathy that sets in. And then you can tune into a USC Penn State top 10 matchup, and the stadium is like 60% full, because over time, apathy can grow. That's why I'm fine with the passion. That's why I'm fine with certain things. And I think they honestly, if you're this invested, as a lot of Husker fans are, more than just about any other fan base out there, and some people think that's a little too much. Personally, I'm on board with it, and I'm here for it. But if apathy starts in any way, shape, or form, it can grow. And over time, you can look at and I know they've got more things to do out in LA, yada, yada, yada. It's a top 10 college football matchup by 2 of the top 15 brands in all of college football, and your stadium's 60% full. And I'm not saying that would ever happen at Nebraska. For me, I'm completely fine with everything as long as respect is kind of maintained a little bit. And I look at Ohio State, I look at it as an opportunity. We got to go to a break real quick, but I look at it as an opportunity to get some of that respect back. But that'll be up to the players to do. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be joined by a man who tried his best to kill me several times. All right. I say that tongue in cheek. Former strength coach at the University of Nebraska and Pittsburgh and Ohio State, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for over 30 years. The man was a strength coach. He was here during my time. We called him Coach K. Everyone else calls him Dave Kennedy. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Have you been told by your physician that your testosterone level is fine, but you don't feel fine? Get a second opinion. If your testosterone level is 200, 350, even 500, and you still have symptoms, come to Limitless Male. We treat the person and the symptoms, not the number. Our mission is for you to feel optimal again. So if you're tired all the time, no energy, brain fog, muscle loss, nothing left in the tank, get your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
The McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Tottenham beat West Ham 4-1, and then Brighton was able to top Newcastle 1-0. On Sunday, Man City beat Wolves 2-1 to stay undefeated, although they do have 2 draws for a record of 6-2-0. And then Liverpool beat Chelsea 2-1 to stay atop the EPL standings. You can catch all these matches and more at McKinney's Irish Pub, your headquarters in Lincoln for English Premier League soccer at 8th and P.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bozin. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Nebraska is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local family business owners and proud to be involved in our community. Property tax relief is important to every family. Last year, I voted for the largest property tax relief package in Nebraska history, and I will continue to advocate for property tax relief. Vote Carolyn Bozin on November 5th. Paid for by Bozin for Legislature.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot. just north of 48th and Lake, and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Tailored Life is your headquarters for all things fall in Bennett. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home, both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of potted trees, mums, and more. Plus, porch pots and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most of which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
Attention students and anyone else looking for a great deal. Sun Valley Lanes and Games has the ultimate weeknight special. For just $15.95, enjoy unlimited bowling, lucky putt mini golf, and laser tag. Flash your college ID at check-in to receive $2 off your admission. It's the perfect way to unwind Sunday through Thursday nights. Check out sunvalleylanes.com for hours and availability. Sun Valley Lanes and Games, located at 321 Victory Lane.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete. Sun Valley.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring your friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. Hurry, this deal ends soon. See Home Club for details.
Drink locally and support local business during Lincoln's Craft Beer Week, October 20th through the 26th. Great beer, cider, distillates, and more are made right here in Lincoln. For more info, visit lincoln.org/beer-week. Brought to you by Visit Lincoln. Remember to enjoy responsibly.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
The temperature and leaves are falling daily, so that means it's time for a new pair of shoes for the fall season from Brown Shoe Fit. Now, through October 31st, take $15 off any regular priced fall shoe and boots. Brands like Keen, Obos, Echo, Taos, and Atrex, all $15 off. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. This is the sale that you've all been waiting for. So get down to Brown Shoe Fit on 66th and Q.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today.
I'm ready.
Burgers?
Check.
Chips?
Check.
Icy cold beer?
Check. Except this one.
I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it.
Rico!
Relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today in most local grocery stores.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. All right, segment 2 is sponsored by our good friends at Mulberry Barbecue at 11th and Cornhusker. Open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try their burnt end sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, a full slab of ribs, a half smoked chicken, and much more. Ladies and gentlemen, they have phenomenal sides as well. Get fuel for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel, located at 11th and Cornhusker. All right, this time I want to bring on my guest. This is a man who learned under Boyd Epley here at the University of Nebraska, strength and conditioning coach for 30-plus years. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. and more. We called him Coach K, but Dave Kennedy. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. How are you?
Dude, I'm glorious. I appreciate you taking the time to join me. So I got like a million questions, but I want to start off with, because you've coached guys and trained guys like Orlando Pace, Larry Fitzgerald, Joey Galloway.
Adam Carriker.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Stuart Bradley, Carl Nix.
Were you in Tampa with Sue and Levante David? You were there with Levante David, right?
Levante's been there forever. No, Sue came after me. Sue was when I first got there, he was with Detroit. And then he went to Miami, and we played Miami when he was there. So I saw him a couple times, but I was not there when he went back there.
So what sticks out the most to you about guys like this that are obviously, some of them are just kind of freak natural talents? But I mean, I watched Larry actually came into the University of Nebraska and trained in the winter, getting ready for the draft while we were doing winter conditioning. I remember watching him do lunges with 315 on his back as a freaking wide receiver. But what are some of the common traits beyond just natural ability that some of these great players have had that you've seen?
Okay, so I don't know if you remember telling this story. Here's the most common trait. I mean, there's really a lot of different levels of genetics that people are given, and you know, my analogy is like a key card in an elevator. You know, if you go into a hotel, a really great hotel, you have a certain key card that allows you to go to certain floors. And certain people have a key card that allows them to start at different floors. So talent is what's given, and where you go with that is you know, that's up to you. And the great players, the one attribute that they had that it took me a while to figure this out is they would not give in to anybody. And there's a lot of great genetic guys that didn't really have that. And so when I say that is it didn't matter if it was the head coach, it didn't matter if it was me putting them under pressure to try to quit. They wouldn't give it up to anybody. Joey Galloway is a perfect example. I might hurt him, but he would go hide in the building and he wouldn't let anybody see that I got to him. And so when you're people don't understand, there's a lot of big decisions being made in a football game, whether to go or not go. You know, you could stay on a block, or you really have to deal with the devil a lot in those games, and not giving that up is something that the great ones always have. They'll go to a spot that other guys won't go to.
It's interesting because I remember how you were. You would be, especially days we were going to do redirection drills, and you'd try to get us to go the wrong way because you'd be pointing, which meant you had to start over. And it was like your whole goal in life to get us to start over like 50,000 times in a row. You'd be talking trash to us on the way to the field. I'm going to get you today. I own you today. And then if you got somebody, you'd be on them in the weight room afterwards, whether it was me or it was Richie or it was whoever. It didn't matter who it was. And so I would imagine you're talking about dealing with the devil. That's the negative thoughts in your mind. I would imagine that was part of the reason you incorporated that directly into your strength conditioning program. Is that correct?
That's everything. You got to, and especially as a defensive player, you know, I think and you are obviously a defensive player. I think there's way more decisions going on the defensive side of the ball. So if you're looking at a team that isn't playing as hard, and you know, it's generally on the defensive side that it shows up, because offense is more controlled. I mean, they call the play and they run the play, and everybody does their job on run that play. In defense, there's decisions being made as to, as I said, you know, previously, you know, there's a guy that could act like he's on a block and then chase from behind and take himself out of the play and really not be in the play, or somebody chasing from the backside, or a corner not really taking an angle to get the ball carrier because he doesn't want to be, you know, in that spot. You know, Barry Sanders, if you're coming up to, you know, to tackle Barry Sanders, you could be embarrassed. And if you are a offensive tackle and you have Von Miller outside of you, or Adam Carriker is going to either beat you with speed or power, that's going to be on ESPN. That's going to be everywhere, and that's embarrassing. And so it's easy for people to disengage from that and hide in that. And so on the defensive side of the ball, a call's being made, but there's way more individual decisions being made on the defensive, you know, side of the ball, you know, from my perspective. So the more you get callous to that, and the more you just will not give in to that, And it's all there. It's there, in raising your kids. It's there in business. But the more you don't give in on that, the better you're going to be, and the better your team's going to be. And that's on the individual basis. But then the enforcers that you have, about Sue. Sue was Sue was an unbelievable enforcer. If you said get your hand behind, if he said you get your hand behind the line, everybody get their hand behind the line. I mean, there's nobody going to rear up on Sue. So anyway, those are the things that happen in a football game that people really don't pay attention to, but people on the inside really know what goes on.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've always said the offensive side of the ball is so much more tactical, whereas defensively you're reacting and you're flying to the ball, and it's a lot more of it's mental, but in a different way. It's much more of a violence mindset, in my opinion, on the defensive side of the ball, which is where, that little guy on your left shoulder, the one with the pitchfork and pointy ears and whatnot, can start talking to you, and that's where mental weakness can kind of get to you just a little bit. So talk to me. Okay, have you watched much Nebraska football this year? The defense in general, just kind of your thoughts on their attitude, effort, and things of that nature, if you have.
No, I haven't watched them a lot. I was watching the Indiana game. Actually, when I was riding the bike, I was watching them on my iPad. So I watched that game. I know they've had. I know they didn't have a great game against Indiana, but I know they played well all year, and it seems like their defense. I mean, game day was on, and they're talking about Nebraska's defense was leading the nation in this stat and that stat. And you could have games like Indiana, and where it doesn't work and the plan doesn't work, and those helmets and those black shirts get heavy when things aren't working. I mean, when things are, and Nebraska's been through a lot lately, so they're showing great progress. I think everything's going in the right direction from my perspective. Now I haven't studied them or anything like that. But it's tough to have a game like that going into Ohio State, because Ohio State is going to have a bunch of dudes out there. I mean, they're going to have a bunch of dudes. So it's just tough going into that, with genuine confidence.
All right, man. So obviously strength and conditioning is a huge part of this, getting bigger, getting faster, getting stronger, being better conditioned in the second half, fourth quarter. These are all things that are easy things for folks to comprehend how important that is and how it can contribute to the success or lack thereof of a football team. I'm curious, though, if you were to pick like let's say you're a high school kid or you're a college kid or you're someone who wants to get better at football in general, what would be like your top 3 lifts and maybe your top thing you would do as far as running out on the field that you would advise that people do?
Okay, so first of all, like if I was ever working for a head coach and he said you can only do one exercise to improve performance, it would be squats, just because you have such different levels of ability, and that takes up a lot of everything that you're going to do from size and strength and ability to move. Now, how you run is really how you're judged, regardless of position. People think, receivers have to run and offensive linemen, have to just be big and strong. But the tackles that go high in the draft, they're 4.7, 4.8 guys. Guys that look like Leiden Murtha or Orlando Pace. He was 3.35 and ran a 4.87. And Adam Carriker didn't get drafted where he got drafted because you're long and you're big and you're super strong. But you got drafted where you got drafted by how you could run. So the squat and the lunge is more correlated to how you run. And you talked about Larry Fitzgerald, lunging 315, and lunges is way more correlated to how you run than squats. All fast guys are strong. All strong guys aren't fast. Anybody that can run a 4.5 could lunge 315. Whether they've done it or seen it, I'm not recommending they do that. But whether they can, whether they've done it or seen it, they have the ability to do it. It's in them. But if there's one thing I want to tell you, if you're talking about guys who have kids and anything, the most important thing you can do is jump. Okay, like I used to be cleans, snatches, and all that kind of stuff, and we'd do that and do it, and I felt like I could teach it better than anybody. And the team's vertical jump would go up a half an inch. And then when we jumped more and more and more, our team average would go up, 2.5 or 3 inches. And my own sons, I have 3 sons. They all play baseball, in college. And my third one, it was NFL fast and explosive. And there's nobody in my genetic tree like that. Okay. And my wife, or my wife's. And so, I think, he was younger than the other two. And so he would, when the other two were working out, when I was at Texas A&M, the other two would work out with the team. They do all the same drills, that you did and everything like that. And that was part of what they did. But the other guy was too young, so he'd just jump all the time. And so, I kind of paid attention. I think there's developmental years where what you do determines how you're going to turn up. There's genetic fast twitch and slow twitch, but I believe there's some that'll go either way. And what you do at a certain age is a difference maker. If you're whatever 50-50 and your parents run distance or you're in distance and cross country, then that 20% will go either way, becomes distance. If your parents are into or whatever you're into is more power inclined, then it'll go that way. So that's something I really believe in. So those are really the biggest things, But really, Adam, as much as that's what I did, and it's really about the players. I mean, it's really about I've always felt like Nebraska fans are so loyal and so genuine, and when you play like Ohio State is where Nebraska expects to be and should expect to be and wants to be. But when are you going to the game? Or are you watching on TV?
I will not be there this Saturday.
Okay, so here's the thing: when you're on the sideline, when you're on the sideline, you could see the difference in teams, especially in college. Not in the NFL; everybody's the same size in the NFL, pretty much. But pay attention to the dudes and see how you compare, objectively. And I think, once I said, the coaches are doing a great job. I think they're bringing in the right guys, but it really comes down to, it comes down to the dudes. And so that's I wish, Nebraska fans would step back and look and say, okay, that there's a little bit of a difference here. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't, but they're loaded. They're loaded. I talked to a GM friend of mine just yesterday, and he thought Ohio State. I watched them play Oregon. I said, okay. But he thinks they're just, talent-wise, he thinks that they're really, really good. So it'll be a great measuring stick, but you have to be objective when you kind of look at that.
So it's pretty cool for me to get to chat with you. I haven't actually seen you since, I think, 06, 07, but I got to play with a lot of the guys that we've referenced today, from Orlando and St. Louis to Joey in D.C. for 2 years. But Lavonte David, you were with him most recently there in Tampa. Got a lot of Husker fans obviously listening. What's something from your time with Lavonte? We got about 30 seconds here to 40 seconds. But what's something from your time with Lavonte in Tampa that Husker fans might find interesting?
So Lavonte is 100% that guy that I talked to you about. Will go to the place that most people won't go to. He's not the biggest guy, man, but he plays really physical. And he could run really well, but he is just a absolute dude. And so he goes to that spot. And I could talk, I just rambled there for 5 minutes. I'm going, geez, what am I talking about? But with 30 seconds, he is absolutely a dude. And he came up the hard way. He came from, Miami Northwestern High School, great high school with Teddy Bridgewater was his quarterback. And all these guys went everywhere, and he had to go the JUCO route and to go to Nebraska and do. He's got that Tom Brady chip on his shoulder, and he is an absolute dude.
All right, man. I appreciate it, Coach K. As I've always known him, I appreciate you taking the time, Coach K.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. The AC poll, not the AP poll, the AC poll. When we come back.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, I'm State Senator Bo Ballard. I was born and raised right here in Lancaster County. I understand the value of hard work by being involved in our family business. I built my own company, creating jobs right here in our community. Nebraska families and business owners need lower taxes, more affordable health care, and a great education system. That is why I fought for the largest tax cut in Nebraska history, reduce the cost of health care, and help pass the biggest investment in our public schools. I'm Senator Bo Ballard, and I humbly ask for your vote on November 5th. Paid for by Ballard for Nebraska.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
A commitment to volunteer service is one of the many things that makes Nebraska so special. Volunteers give their time, energy, and resources, and they ask for nothing in return. The Step Forward Awards ensures they're recognized for all they do. Those honored this year for the impact they've made in their communities are Gretchen Mack of Omaha, Kira Montiel of Papillion, Vern Hickok of Cairo, Mildred Moody of Gehring, Blue River Arts Council in Crete, Nebraska Land Bank in North Platte, Lincoln Industries in Lincoln, Cinderlyn Meredith of Seward, Deb Zobel of Ashland, Sally Harms of Wisner, Senator Diana Shimmick of Lincoln, and Rick Weimer of West Point. Serve Nebraska thanks all nominators, nominees, and sponsors for helping us celebrate volunteerism. To learn more about the Step Forward Awards and this year's honorees, visit serve.nebraska.gov. Sponsored by Serve Nebraska, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Cyber threats are everywhere. When is the last time you stopped to think about how you're protecting your business from potential data breaches, phishing scams, or ransomware? It's time to make cybersecurity a priority for your business. At Hamilton, our unmatched expertise and cutting-edge technology goes beyond basic defense, providing proactive, tailored solutions that keep your data, network, and digital assets protected. Better protection, better cybersecurity with Hamilton. Visit our website at hamiltonisbusiness.com to learn more.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the Ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring a friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, this deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies with light west winds matching a high around 80. Tonight, a chance of sprinkles late, otherwise probably cloudy with a low around 48. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers in the morning, otherwise partly sunny with a high around 67. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clutcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements.
Explain to me again why we're sleeping on the ground.
Because we're thramping. Thrift camping. It's saving us money and getting us closer to nature.
But we don't need to thramp. I just combined our home and auto insurance with our State Farm agent, so we have a rate that fits our budget.
All right. Do you think our agent can bring us an air mattress?
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinnie Kreekak, at 402-474-1173.
Individual premiums and budgets will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Gary Michaels Clothier's 41st anniversary sale is happening now. Our entire new fall inventory of suits, sport coats, sweaters, slacks, outerwear, footwear, all now marked up to 41% off. Don't miss your opportunity to save big on brands like Marcello, Bugatti, Jack Victor, Heritage Gold, Alberto, and Zanella. It's the Gary Michaels 41st anniversary sale going on now through November 2nd. Gary Michaels Clothier's 56th and Pine Lake, right here in Lincoln.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
The spitting incident.
Oh, the spitting incident.
How bad was that? And do he deserve to miss more games?
I think it's despicable to spit on another human
Lucky
being.
this guy had a shield on his face. What happened? The guy from Oregon, the receiver.
Yeah, receiver.
Spit in the guy's face from Ohio State.
Why did he do that?
Look at
Man, you
each
don't
other.
spit on a
Back
guy.
and forth.
You don't spit on a guy. I would never do that again. I said again.
I was going to ask you about that from one spitter to another spitter.
No, come on, guys. Listen, guys.
Years ago.
27 years ago.
Yeah.
Guys, don't hold that against me.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. And we're going to call an audible. We're going to move the AC poll to Thursday. Steve Taylor's in tomorrow, noon to 1 p.m. Central Time. Got a couple of quotes from the coordinator's press conference today. And I thought they were very interesting. Nebraska offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield said he must, and I quote, get in the mindset that in order to win in the Big Ten, the Huskers must establish the run. It's on me, end quote, Satterfield said. And another quote, I have to commit to it. So a couple of things. Number one, I always appreciate the honesty. I appreciated Rule after the game, accepting blame and, being open and forthright and honest. That's something to respect, and I appreciate about the head man here at the University of Nebraska. I appreciate the honesty from Marcus. There's a quote here from Tony White that I'm going to get to in just a second. I think it's an indicator of what we already knew. He wants to throw the ball. That's what he wants to do. There's a bit of a disconnect between what Rule has done in the past, what he has said he wants Nebraska to be, and ultimately what is inside of Marcus Satterfield as far as what he wants to do, okay? What's inside of him, he wants to throw the ball, okay? And he is talking about now, I have to commit to it. It's a lot on me. I must get in the mindset, which means he was not already in the mindset. And I'm not even getting on him for this. It was something we already knew. You could see it doesn't have to be said. I actually appreciate him being open, honest, forthright with this. But it's an indicator that there has been a bit of a disconnect between what maybe the head coach's whole vision is for the offense, the team, and what is just inside of Marcus Satterfield and what he wants to do. All right, when I've coached sports teams over the years, in basketball, I'm an attacking aggressive guy. We're going to press. In football, we're going to blitz on defense. On offense, I installed a freaking no-huddle offense with sixth graders. They said it couldn't be done. Black 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. It's not that hard. It's 5 plays, and then we had orange 1 through 5. We had 10 plays, and we just run them over and over, go really fast. We had more plays than that. But when I wanted to go no-huddle, that's what we did. And so for me, I'm a fast, attacking style of guy. That's just my mindset. There's other people who are more methodical, and they want to control the game, and that's cool too. When it comes to Marcus, his mindset was not to run the ball first. To him, he wanted to do it a different way, at least to a certain degree, a certain level. We already knew that. You could see it. You could tell it. You could sense it. I appreciate him being open and honest about it now. Is he actually going to do it? In the middle of a game, when the moment is hard, the pressure and the intensity is hot, is he actually going to do it? It's one thing to understand it. It's one thing to know it. To talk about it publicly, all admirable, love it, respect it. But in the heat of the moment, when, Coach K just got done talking about, hey, they're going to show highlights on SportsCenter. If you're a left tackle and you get schooled by DeMarcus Ware was the example he used, or Von Miller, I think. When everybody's watching and it's the hardest and the moment is the hottest, what are you going to do? That's what I'm curious to see. All right. To me, that actually speaks volumes. Okay. On a lot of different levels, on a lot of different things. We've got to be able to actually run the ball. Against Rutgers, we actually ran the ball 60% of the time, but we averaged 2.4 yards per carry. So at a certain degree, you got to actually be able to run the ball. I mean, just running the ball is something that's important. Being able to actually successfully do it. 3.7 yards per carry so far this year. You got to be able to actually do it as well. Got to be able to execute it. All right, Tony White. Here's a quote he had today. No, I don't know if it's, here's the quote. And I quote, "These dudes, man, they'll run through a wall. That's why it really bugs me because it's me," end quote. So defensive coordinator Tony White says he takes responsibility for not installing enough confidence in the Huskers defense ahead of their Indiana game. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to argue with Tony. I mean, my take on that is, you know, when you get punched in the mouth, I mean, some of it is upbringing. Some of it is who you are from birth. It's most likely a combination. Just in life, when someone punches you in the mouth, what are you going to do? And depending on the situation, punching back might be appropriate. If you're defending somebody or just yourself, if you're really threatened, there could be a situation where you got to walk away. There could be all sorts of different situations call for different responses. In a football sense, when an offense punches a defense in the mouth, are you going to punch back or not? Some of that falls on the culture and the head coach or the D coordinator, building confidence and building toughness and all that. You know, at the end of the day, I mean, I don't think anybody ever, and I'm going to pick like an extreme example here, but he's the guy that popped into my head. Nobody walked up to Richie and said, "You better fight back," Richie Incognito. He just fought back, and he fought anybody and everybody, anytime, anywhere. Like, at the end of the day, it comes down to the person in the situation and what are you going to do? And what do your teammates do? And what do they hold you accountable to? All right, so for me, it's kind of like Marcus. In the heat of the situation, are you really going to try to run the ball and be physical or not? In the heat of the situation, when you're getting punched in the mouth in the football sense, what are you going to do? What do your teammates demand of you? What do you demand of your teammates? I appreciate Tony's accountability. That particular topic is a little bit on the coaches and it's on the players as well. All right, one more thing.
Putting that on the coaches, Tony White also said,
yeah,
he did some things that were, quote, completely stupid, end quote, in defeat against Indiana.
You know, Tony's a good coach. I don't think anybody questions that. He's just a good dude. I appreciate his honesty. He's obviously not going to go too much into depth. There were obviously things that did not go well against Indiana.
Yeah.
So making a statement like that isn't shocking. For me, I just want to see what they do going forward. How does the defense respond when Ohio State's going to hit them in the mouth? How do you respond? In the heat of the moment, are we going to run the ball on offense? Okay, what type of in-game adjustments do we make as a coaching staff? That's what I'm interested in going forward. All right, Nebraska's Isaac Gifford. We're almost done here. On coming back from the loss to Indiana, and I quote, "It's not my first," I can say this, I assume.
You can say it.
All right, "It's not my first ass whooping. You've only got one option, and that's to keep fighting," end quote. Isaac Gifford's been he's been kind of quiet this year, so to speak, but he's been one of my favorite guys in the entire team, the entire offseason and season. Again, these aren't my kids. I'm allowed to have favorites. Okay. John Bullock, Ty Robinson, Isaac Gifford, some of my favorite guys on the team. I love Emmett Johnson, love Jamal Banks on offense. All right, Thomas Fidone as well, those guys. So all I would say as far as Isaac's comment, I appreciate the honesty, the accountability. Leader. That's what we need. All right, man, I appreciate you joining me today.
It was a blast.
All right. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. The locker room is next. Until next time, I'll see you Thursday. Go, Big Red, and always remember to throw the ball.
Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel is the answer to all your lunch and dinner cravings. They have